We're going to be sharing some, again, great tips on how to get started painting your kitchen cabinets as well as your bathrooms, and all of the simple steps apply to everything using this one great product. If you want to check it out online, you can also get yourself a free sample simply by going to allinOnePaint.com/free sample. You can see all of those great colors there, all 30 of them, and learn about how easy this paint is to work with. So I'm going to get started right here on this project. This is an old oak cabinet. I'm going to show you how simple it is to use the color called cashmere. White is always a little more difficult to paint using a white over anything. So we're going to show you how to do it without a primer. And this paint contains a bonding primer already, but sometimes people question whether they should use a primer going from a mid-tone like this or a dark color over to a white. I'm going to show you how simple it is to get great coverage using a few simple techniques and a few tricks using our tools. So all I'm doing is brushing on our deglosser, and again, this is just a simple prep, and it's not toxic. You don't have to worry about any smells. It's water soluble. Using a simple brush just to easily wipe it on, and what that's going to do is loosen all of the stubborn things that have set, even things that have gotten really hard and maybe even dried on, like layers of built up grease, and maybe even where you've applied simple things like cleaners and waxes and so on that want to tend to build up on your cabinets. This product is fabulous about cutting all of that away. It really does work. It removes nicotine and all kinds of other smells and airborne anything. So it's a great product to get you well on your way of having a great finished kitchen or bathroom project. I'm just going to rub all this on, let it do its magic by letting it sit there. Sitting there is what's really going to give this time to activate and to begin to loosen up all of the stubborn things that may be right there present on that surface. All those negatives that you've once associated with paint. This is not your mama's paint. This is not paint you've been typically used to using, or certainly not anything that your mother has used in the past. And you wonder, why have I never heard of this fabulous paint? Well, you have now, and if you want to join our group, you'll see about 120,000 people who are using and sharing the results of this fabulous paint product. So I want you to take advantage of that if you haven't already, and jump in there and get yourself some, and then you'll know for yourself. Grease and oils are the enemy to the bond of your paint. So you want to always keep that in mind anytime you know that something's been touched and handled. That's why you'll see cabinets and see finishes fail. Even on traditional latex paints, you'll see those failing around the handles and areas where people have tended to touch that all the time. Use a white cloth and you can see that this is getting off some yuck coats. So this is the first coat going on. It may or may not look great. I have no idea. Since this is oak, it's highly grainy. And I'm going to do my best to give you a great coat. So cashmere, of all the colors, every color that we offer, all whites tend to be the hardest to have what's called hide. And that's because they're white. There's no color here to give you any hide between this color and this, because there's no color present here. So there's the reason. That's white are hard to cover. I'm going to go in here and put on what I call my first coat. I'm going to brush it on, all right? This is not how you traditionally paint, all right? And what I mean by that is you don't just keep going over it and over it and over it to spread the paint. So I'm going to show you a different method of painting, and you have to kind of concede to the idea that you're willing to do something different than you've done in the past. Or maybe you're not a painter and you've never painted anything, and that's okay. That's sometimes the easiest to teach you how to do this. So dip into the paint with your brush. Offload on one side only, and I want you to take this much paint to your project. I only offloaded there. I want you to carry this much paint over to your project. Turn the brush over where you put the paint and wipe on a few wipes. That's a pretty heavy coat, right? I'm not going to keep going over that. I'm going to paint all the way down because I can see a good break. I'm going to paint to right here, okay? All the way down before I touch another area. And I'm going to try to do all this area in one time, all right? I'll show you why. So I'm going to just keep going right to the crack there. Brush it out, just a few swipes through here. Do it as much as I can get it nice. Let's go ahead and get the other side. I'll switch around. Put the whole back here so you can see me do this. And then go right to the bottom. Pushing my brush right in there in all those little cracks. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my roller. I'm going to get one of the tools here that we offer. We have a tool trio pack. That is you're going to get the roller, you're going to get the brush that I was just using, and you're going to get our true applicator. I'm going to show you why each of those are important, okay? These are a $4 tool, and there's nothing like it. And I want to talk to you a little bit about bubbles and all the reasons that this works, all right? So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to right up here to the top, and I'm going to begin to roll. And I want you to notice right now all these striping marks. Can you see that? I want you to roll against that, basically. Now, you may or may not get them to go away. Just roll, roll. There's bubbles like crazy going off here, all right? Don't be concerned. There's nothing to worry about. This is our first coat. We call it ugly for one reason, because it ain't pretty, right? No paint that you're going to use is going to be any different than this. So let's go over the door. Let's talk about a couple things here, because we've got edges and gaps, and we're going to see runs and everything here, so that's okay. I'm just going to go right around here. I'm also going to show you how to trim around the hinges. I paint with the doors on for two reasons. First of all, it's easier. Second of all, I can go under and over and all of that good stuff right around that door just like that. Then I have, because I got the cheapest brush known to mankind right here, I'm just going to paint around this. This is how to do this, guys. This is to save you so much grief.
Tons.
Now, yes, you could probably do it easier if you take this door off. Go ahead and paint this out. And I'm going to open this door back and continue on, all right? So I got to get back in here. Can't wait too long here for this mess I've made here. And I'll show you what to do here, girls. When you put this on, y'all always panic right here at this point. You go, oh my God, I ruined my cabinets. So now I'm going to roll this out, all right? So don't worry about the bubbles again. You're going to see bubbles. Push a little in here. Push in this little recess. If you have raised panel doors, you want to push in there, and the reason you're trying to get back in there with your roller. Even if it picks up paint, don't worry, just let it push in there. Get in here and roll that out, okay? Roll right up over all the ridges. You want to make this as pretty as possible. Lay your roller in that crack, turn it in there just like I'm doing. Go 4 times. You can even do that if you need to. Whatever you need to do to roll it and to take out as many brush strokes as you can. Alright, so get in there, just roll it out best you can. Now, if you get a little on the hinge, all you gotta do is just take your finger, rub it off, Q-tip, put some deglosser on something and rub it off right now. Don't wait till it dries. This is another question y'all often ask. Do you paint the inside of the cabinets? Here's what you do. You paint the inside of the door, so when it's open, it doesn't look like a mess like this. And you paint right up to this lip, right here. You don't go beyond that lip. You paint right to the face of this cabinet. It's called the face of the cabinet. I'm just going to show you how crappy of a job you can do on this to get a great job, okay? So this is me doing you, just putting it on here, right? This is me just saying, I don't know a thing about painting. I'm just going to put this up here and just see how it looks, okay? If this is you painting your cabinets for the first time, you go, this is an absolute fiasco. I'm going to email this company and tell them this paint don't work. That's what I'm going to do, because I think this looks awful. So right here is where the breakdown begins. All you got to do right now at this point, instead of sending us an email, is take this out. Right, this is your weapon right here. This is your weapon. This is how to get it done. Just go right here and roll over this, okay? And then you go, oh my gosh, look at that.
It's not so bad.
It looks pretty good.
I did a pretty good job.
And they call this the ugly coat. And this is looking really good. So I'm going to push it right back into here, into these little areas, okay? Push, push, push. Go in here. Can't get in that crack. Take that little brush, a little grunt brush, and go in there. That saved me a bunch of pushing. Just do that. Go, go, go. Right in here. Now I'm not going to get any runs or any drips. And I'm just barely pushing. I already cut it in with my big brush on the side over here. So now you want to keep going lightly, because if I push hard, look, if I push hard, I'm going to get that. See that? When I push hard, can you see the difference? When I push, that's pushing. Don't push. Just light roll. So open the door after you've done that and roll, roll, roll. Right on down here, roll all this out. Just come underneath, roll that out. Make life pretty. I tell you when I wet my tools, in the summer when it's very dry, when the air is very dry. I don't want my paint, when I make on a couple like I did in the back here, when I'm painting a bigger area, As soon as I start wiping it on, all of a sudden the wood soaks up my moisture in my paint, and then I don't have the chance to go in here and roll it out. I look back and I got all these lines. So I would then go mist it and go with it then, or maybe dampen my roller, or I've never dampened this piece, but you could. But that's all, again, developing your little bit of rhythm, where you are in the country, where you're living, and what temperature it is where you're painting, and all those things are variables. But whites are the driest of the paint because the pigmentation, the titanium that's in these things, has the drier consistency to the paint, meaning it's drying the quickest of most of the colors most of the time. Use the roller and just gonna roll this out. Again, light pressure. I'm gonna show you on my hand. That light's gonna show on my light glove tonight, but it's just that light, so I'm gonna show you. Here's pushing, okay? Can you see? That's pushing. I'm not pushing, I'm just doing that. See that? See the bubbles kind, guys? Bubbles are no biggie. These aren't really bubbles. They're not bubbles. They're really this aerating the paint. You see those little things? That's what makes this work. Those little holes in that. This is called an open cell roller, and the open cells are what's helping move the paint around evenly. If it were a closed cell roller, it wouldn't have those little holes like that, but it would only push the paint around. We're not moving the paint, we're just trying to evenly disperse what's there. We have a primer, we have a hide primer, because so many people demand we have a primer. We don't need a primer, you don't need a primer. But we keep it because everybody thinks it's old school thinking. But if you'll go with this method of rolling it on, like I'm showing you, using brush and roll technique, these two simple tools, and get the true applicator, just simple for contoured areas, you won't have to need a primer. Something else to remember, this paint contains a bonding primer above and beyond a Kills primer or a Bullseye primer. It has an unbelievable bonding primer that's good enough to withstand interior and exterior paint projects. When you put on Kills or you put on the other primers out there, any other brand, the first bond is the bond that holds on the paint. So if that's not a good primer that you put on, you'll lose all of your paint. In other words, if it begins to chip, that primer, it's the original bond. It's what's holding everything on. So you're painting on top of that, relying on that bond. I know this paint has a fabulous bond to it. So this is the one I highly recommend be your bond coat. So this is my method. You can do any method that you choose. And if you're a painter and that's what you've always done, and that's how you want to do it, that's up to you. And if you'll use these techniques, at least try it on one thing, then I think you'll be in the mindset to try this and to go with it. This is stippling. It's doing the same thing. The foam in the stippler is the same thing. When you're rolling over it, and I keep rolling over it and rolling out the brush strokes, it's the same thing you're doing when you're stippling with the stippler. Same exact method. Use this, it's easier on flat surfaces. Use the true applicator when you don't have a flat surface, a chair, something round, a knob. This is hard to roll over everything. This doesn't fit everywhere. Like I told you, this piece here scratches things, so you can't use this everywhere. But on flat surfaces like kitchen cabinets, it's the #1 go-to method to make this work. And it's not because I'm trying to sell you a roller. This is a $4 tool. This is so easy to use, and it certainly saves you time and gets you a better result on kitchen cabinets and something flat. And cure happens over time. It's not, you could take your fingernail right now and scratch this anywhere, it's coming right off. This paint is what's called green. It's still in the soft stages, and it will be for several days. As 30 days, all the way out, 30 days continues in your home, it's going to harden and harden and harden, and I think everyone in that group I keep telling you about will attest to the fact it's as hard as a nail as it dries. It will also work, like I said before, on exterior projects just the same. It takes time for paint to harden. If you're not a painter, you don't know that. It's not just this paint, it's all paints. Every single paint has a cure time, and that time is generally on waterborne paints a 30-day time period. So this is the typical 30-day time period for paint to cure. So if you're worried about paint curing, do a test it on something. Test it on your bathroom vanity. It can withstand moisture and then showers and all that. Doesn't affect it at all. So the paint is not new. It's been around for over 3 years actually. I'm going to do a coat right here on this back so you can see coat 2 going on. And I want you to see the same process. I'm going to do probably down. It's not really dry enough, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want you to see, I'm going to brush the other way. This is when you would really wait a little bit before you do another coat, but we're going to do it. That way if I'm like you and this is you and you're in a hurry and you go ahead and do it anyway, this might be the result you get, okay? So here's 2 coats, and I should be a coat and a half, 2.5 coats. So I could have put on a primer and painted that 2 coats, and then I would still be 2 coats probably in covering the primer. So you're gonna be, even if you did 1 coat of primer, it might take you 2.5 coats. It's the same work regardless, same work. By the way, I'm gonna show you where I'm at in this 8-ounce sample. And you see there where I am to right there. Average kitchen will take 1 quart, a small kitchen, an 8 by 10 kitchen. Bigger than that, you need to consider 2 quarts. And then on beyond that, if you call your kitchen medium and you're going white, you need to go to 2 to 3 quarts for sure. We have some videos on YouTube to give you some ideas and some different techniques on how to give you some good faux finishes on your kitchen countertops, bathroom countertops. And the paint itself is super durable for your flat surface, but if you want to put something on top of it, watch those videos. And again, just go to youtube.com /Heirloom Traditions Paint, and you can see the whole playlist there for kitchen countertops and see all of that. So they're all put in one spot for you. Our deglosser came out since those videos are out, so you can, our deglosser now, we used another brand before, but we now have it available, so you can get it from one source. And there's all sorts of different techniques on how to paint your kitchen countertops. Paint has its own sealer, so it doesn't need any kind of a sealer. It's extremely beautiful. It has a gorgeous, gorgeous satin sheen to it, just a very low luster, beautiful sheen. Please go to allinOnePaint.com /free sample. You can learn all about how to join our great group of about 120,000 people who are using the paint products to paint leathers, vinyls, kitchen cabinets, and so much more. You can see their projects as well as join in and ask questions there from some of the people who are using the paint at this time. So I think you would enjoy that group if you like DIY and doing things. And this is your opportunity to get yourself that free sample if you'll go to, again, allinOnePaint.com /free sample.
Just clean and paint with all-in-one paint.